My name is Kenneth, and I will be answering Creative Critical Reflection number 3. How did your production skills develop throughout this project? At the beginning of this project, I had almost no technical experiences with filmmaking. Before we started, I didn't really know how to operate a professional camera, edit videos properly, or manage things like sound, the recording, or mise-en-scene. I mostly just watch movies or videos without thinking about how much work actually goes into making them. Because of that, this project was a big learning experience for me. I had to figure out things as we went along, and a lot of what I learned came from experimenting, practicing, and working with my group. Over time, I started to understand the different parts of filmmaking and how they all come together to make a final project. One of the first things I had to learn was how to operate the camera. At first, the camera looked complicated because there was a lot of buttons and settings that I didn't understand. But after doing a little research and spending time experimenting with it, I slowly started to figure things out. Most of my learning came from hands-on experience. On the first day, I spent time just exploring the camera and trying different things. I practiced recording clips, taking pictures, and reviewing the footage that we captured. I also learned how to adjust the lens and check recordings to make sure that they looked good for the film. At first, I was nervous about handling the equipment. For example, when we were using the tripod, I didn't know how to take the camera off of it. I was worried that I might break something or damage the camera. But after watching how it worked and carefully trying it myself, I realized it wasn't as difficult as I thought. That moment helped me become more confident with the equipment. I also tried to be very careful when I was using the camera, since the camera was one of the most important tools that we had for our film. I made sure not to press buttons too hard when recording or taking photos. During some scenes, especially the POV shots, we were using props that had liquid involved. Because of that, I made sure those props stayed far away from the camera so nothing would spill or damage the equipment. Another big part of the process was editing the film. Since I didn't have much experiences with editing software before this project, I worked closely with my teammates and learned from them during the editing phase. I spent time watching how the editing process worked and helping out by giving suggestions when something looked off. For example, sometimes I pointed out lighting problems or clips that didn't look as clean as others. Even though I wasn't the main editor, I still helped improve the final product by giving feedback and ideas. One important thing I learned during editing was how to organize and evaluate our footage. After filming everything, we had over 100 clips saved on the camera. Because of that, we had to go through all of them and decide which ones were the best to use. I learned how to tell the difference between high quality shots, clips that could be used if necessary, and clips that were completely unusable. I also learned how to use the editing software called Kdenlive. At first, we planned on using CapCut, but we eventually decided to switch because CapCut didn't give us the quality we wanted when rendering the final video. Kdenlive gave us more control and allowed us to create a more polished result. With help from my teammates, Romaine, I learned how to line up titles and credits with the audio. That was something that I had never done before. So it's interesting to see how the small editing details like that can make a film feel more professional. One area where I contributed a lot was with the mise-en-scene, especially props and costuming. Compared to the technical parts of filming and editing, this part felt more natural for me. I helped find and manage props that would set the mood for certain scenes. For example, I brought a cake that we used during a transition scene where the cake transitions into a human-like heart. That moment was meant to be symbolic and slightly unsettling, so the prop played an important role in the scene. We also used practical effects to make the film more realistic. To create the appearance of a living heart, I brought syrup to stimulate blood. During the scene where Axel gets dragged down, 2 of my group members and I wore black gloves and jackets. This helped create the illusion that a mysterious or non-human force was grabbing the main character. At the same time, The gloves also help protect our clothes and the filming equipment from the syrup. Another important visual idea we worked on was the dream sequence. Our group coordinated the costumes to give a 1950s style look. Axel wore a suit and Cynthia wore a dress, which helped make the scene feel different from the modern day setting in the rest of the film. This contrast made the dream sequence stand out visually in the story. We also portrayed the characters as teenagers from between the ages of about 15 and 18, which helped make the narrative feel more believable. Overall, this project was a very valuable learning experience for me. I started the project with almost about no experience in filmmaking, but by the end, I had learned a lot about how the process works. Through this project, I gained experience with camera operation, editing software, lighting, props, and mise-en-scene. I also learned how important teamwork is when creating a film, because every member of the group contributed different skills and ideas. Looking back, this experience helped me grow both technically and creatively. It showed me how many small details go into making a film look professional, and gave me a new appreciation for everything that happens behind the scenes, behind the camera in a film.